There was once a cook named Grethel who loved showing off her stylish shoes with red bows on them. Whenever she put them on and went outside, she couldn't help but spin around and admire herself, thinking, "Wow, you're such a gorgeous girl." Whenever she came back home, feeling cheerful and full of herself, she'd pour herself a glass of wine to celebrate. And, of course, wine always made her feel a little hungry, so she'd taste the best parts of whatever she was cooking until she felt completely satisfied. As she enjoyed the food, she'd say to herself, "A good cook has to know how the food tastes after all." One day, her boss came to her and said, "Grethel, we've got a guest coming over tonight. Make sure to prepare 2 really nice chickens for dinner." Grethel replied, "Don't worry, I've got it covered, boss." She got to work, killed 2 chickens, dunked them in hot water, plucked all the feathers, and put them on a spit to roast. By evening, the chickens were roasting away over the fire, turning golden brown and smelling delicious. But the guest still hadn't arrived. Grethel called out to her boss, "Hey, if the guest doesn't show up soon, I'll have to take the chickens off the fire. It'd be such a waste if they don't get eaten while they're still so juicy." Her boss replied, "All right, I'll go get the guest myself." As soon as he left, Grethel thought, "Standing near this hot fire is making me so thirsty, and who knows how long it'll be before they get here." So she took the spit with the chickens off the fire, set it aside, and headed down to the cellar for a drink. She grabbed a jug of wine, raised it up, and said to herself, "Cheers, Grethel." Then she took a good long drink and, well, another one for good measure. Grethel went back to the fire, placed the chickens on the spit again, basted them with their juices, and happily spun the spit around. The smell of the roasting meat was so tempting that Grethel thought, what if something's not quite right? I should probably check." She poked the chicken with her finger, tasted a bit, and said, "Wow, roast chicken is amazing. It's such a shame these aren't being eaten right now." She ran to the window to check if her boss and the guest were on their way, but there was no sign of them. Returning to the chickens, she noticed, "Oh no, one of the wings is starting to burn. I better take it off and eat it before it's ruined." So she cut off a wing, ate it, and enjoyed every bite. Then she thought, if I only eat one wing, the boss might notice something's missing. Better eat the other one too. And with that, she finished off the second wing. Afterward, she went to check for her boss again, but he was still nowhere to be seen. That's when it hit her. What if they're not coming at all? Maybe they stopped somewhere else. Grethel thought, "Well, if that's the case, why not enjoy myself? One chicken is already started. Might as well finish it. Besides, it'd be a waste to let good food go bad." So she ran back to the cellar, poured herself a big drink, and happily devoured the rest of the first chicken. Feeling satisfied, she sat back for a moment, but then her eyes wandered to the second chicken. You know, she thought, where one goes, the other should follow. They're like a pair. It just wouldn't be right to leave one behind. And hey, another drink wouldn't hurt either. She poured herself another generous glass of wine, raised it up, and toasted herself. Then, with a grin, she finished off the second chicken too, feeling absolutely delighted with her decision. Grethel was right in the middle of enjoying the chickens when her boss suddenly showed up and shouted, "Hurry up, Grethel. The guest is coming right behind me." Grethel, trying to stay calm, replied, "Yes, sir. I'll have everything ready in no time." While she scrambled to put things in order, her boss checked the dining table to make sure everything was properly set. He grabbed the big carving knife he was planning to use on the chickens and began sharpening it on the steps outside. Soon enough, the guest arrived and knocked politely at the door. Grethel ran to answer it, but when she saw who it was, she quickly put her finger to her lips and whispered, "Shh, you need to leave right now, as fast as you can. If my boss catches you, you're in big trouble. Sure, he invited you for supper, but he's actually planning to cut off your ears. Just listen. You can hear him sharpening the knife for it." The guest froze for a second, then heard the scraping sound of the knife being sharpened. Without wasting another moment, he bolted down the steps as fast as his legs could carry him. Meanwhile, Grethel didn't waste any time either. She ran to her boss yelling, "Oh, you've invited a great guest, haven't you?" "What are you talking about, Grethel?" he asked, confused. She pointed toward the door and said, "He just grabbed the chickens I was about to serve and ran off with them." "What? That's outrageous," her boss exclaimed, completely upset. "Those were fine chickens. At least if he had left me one, I'd still have something to eat." He rushed outside and shouted after the guest, "Stop, just one, just one." What he meant, of course, was that the guest should leave at least one chicken behind. But the guest, still terrified, thought the boss was demanding one of his ears and ran even faster, like his life depended on it. He ran as fast as he could, like his feet were on fire, trying to take both his ears home with him.